So, Cooper, it's been quite a moment for you since Monsters came out last September. Fans are piling on the memes, the GIFs, the Andy Cohen interview that blew up the internet. What has all that attention been like for you? And are you having fun with it? Are you always enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. The Andy Cohen one was so fun. I would hope I get to do it again. Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, the attention and the validation and, you know, just hearing that so many people like the show and that they were moved by the performance and all that stuff is just like so. Yeah, it's amazing. I feel so lucky and grateful and yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's great.
Reading the script, did you think, oh, this is going to be huge? I mean, anything with Ryan Murphy's name on it is going to get attention.
I mean, I knew that Dahmer was such a huge success and that a lot of people watched that show and a lot of people loved that show and were very fascinated by what he was doing with this series and with these stories. So I knew coming on the heels of that was like, okay, we're doing something that's really special and that has a big audience. So I knew in that respect that we were going to have a lot of eyes on us. And then, yeah, I mean, reading the scripts, they were for the first time, they were I got the first five scripts when I got the job in June, and I read through all of them in one day and was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. They were amazing and yeah, so but you never know. I still also was like, you never know with these things. It could go one way, it could go the other way. I'm just gonna go into it and do the best job I can and do as much homework and show up really prepared and do my best. So
What was your audition scene?
the first things that I was given were two Dr. Ozeal scenes, the one where Eric confesses to him in the park, and then the one back at the office where he's like, "Tell me I'm not a bad person. Tell me I'm not a bad person." And then the scene, weirdly enough, I don't know why they gave this scene for us to do, but I had to sing "Blame It on the Rain" like in the car. So I had to do that, and then I had to do the actual murder scene, like from them going from the car and being like, you're gonna chicken out, so you have to go first and be like, what? I love you, Lyle, and like that thing, and then go into the house and shoot them. Those were my four audition scenes, and then two more got added at the screen test, which was the whole Ozeal moment with when Lyle comes in. That whole scene, we had to do that, and then we did the post toupee ripoff scene with Lyle in the guest house where he's, like, oh, dad made me, or like, how long have you had that? Yeah, we had to do those scenes. So,
What was that like forming that sort of turbulent family dynamic with Nicholas and Javier and Chloe? I mean, what a great cast.
yeah, I mean, everyone just kind of showed up and was really prepared and ready to go. Our first scene that we ever shot as a family all together was in the first episode where we're at the dinner table where Kitty rips the toupee off of Lyle's head. And I think it was such a great scene for us to all start with because it really encapsulated um, the family dynamics. It was always sort of like loud and dad is sort of arguing and Lyle is not agreeing with what they're saying and Kitty's smoking a cigarette or is drinking and is sort of like not paying attention or does and then Eric's just sort of like so quiet and is just sort of like listening and not sure like that was sort of it really was a good starting point to sort of create what the family was like. So
When you're portraying a real person, and some of these things, like the courtroom scenes in particular, are just spot on to actual footage. What is that like? Are you trying to get it exactly the same, or is it difficult? Or are you trying to put yourself into it? How do you work around that situation?
I wanted to get it exactly the same. I wanted it to be so spot on. That was really a challenge. Yeah, I just wanted to be as authentic and as close to the real person as possible while also still putting myself into it too. I wanted it to be both. But especially for the courtroom stuff where it's, I have the actual footage of this actual moment. I wanted that to be very, very close. And I mean, it's a lot of pressure. I think that was what was really difficult about it. It was like the pressure to get it right and to get it so similar while also having those emotions be really authentic and truthful and coming from a deep place was such a challenge, but also really sort of like an itch that you have in your brain that like you can then like scratch because it's like, oh, I didn't get that breath totally right. Like let me do it again and try and like I know what I have to do, or my head needs to be a little bit more this way, or anything stuff like that. It was so fun and challenging to try and recreate.
So down to the breath. I mean, you must have watched that 1,000 times if you're.
So many times. So
Well,
many times.
certainly the episode that really, I think, pushed you further into like the awards buzz chatter was The Hurt Man. It's this 33-minute episode that plays out like a single take, and it's
Really? Oh, I thought you were gonna say episode 3 when I'm like naked. Oh,
well, that
just kidding.
probably didn't hurt, you know. And but it's Eric's describing this abuse, and you talk us through that moment and or filming that. Like, how did you prepare for that, and what was that day on set like for you?
That episode and that script was really my preparation for the entire show and the entire character. I was just saying, like, when you hear about actors like creating their backstory for their character, that really was my backstory, like that. And I didn't have to do so much creating. All I really had to do was take the stories from the real life testimony and take the memories that were written in that script and then visualize them through my own eyes and get them so detailed and so specific that when I went to recount them on the day, that they would affect me emotionally and they would be really truthful for me. So I was working on that for you know, a long time. Like I said, I got the scripts in June, and then we didn't shoot that episode until March. So I really spent so much time every day, whether I was reading it or I would write out the entire script. And I also had I had a playlist of, songs that would affect me emotionally or get me into the sort of mood. And then, yeah, it was 2 days. So the first day, it was a Thursday and I think we started shooting at like 1 or 2 o'clock, and we did 4 takes. And like the first day, you obviously put the pressure on yourself to like, I'm gonna get it in one. I'm gonna do it on the first take, and that's gonna be it. And we're not gonna have to do it anymore. And then obviously that is not the case, and you kind of have to keep going in and starting over and trying to find it. And oh, it was exhausting, but so rewarding to, you know, finally get the chance to say those words for the first time and to live out this moment that I had been studying and working on for so long. And obviously, Ari and I had gotten so close by that point that you know, we were like this. So getting to go and do that together was just so special and beautiful. And then we came back for the second day, which was on a Sunday. So nobody else was on the sound stages. It was just us. Oh, that day was so special. And we did 4 more takes, and I remember every single one feeling so, so great. And I was like, they could pick any one of those and I would be happy. And yeah, it was an amazing day. I felt so accomplished and I felt so proud of myself and of Ari and of everybody who worked on that episode, and so grateful for Michael. And Ari and I afterwards we went back to her house and ordered sushi, and we drank like 2 or 3 bottles of wine and celebrated. And yeah, it was an awesome day that I will never forget.
And when you say 4 takes, do you run through the whole thing? I mean, were you doing the whole thing in one and then you have to
Yeah.
do the whole thing again?
Yeah. It's exhausting.
Wow.
Exhausting. Yeah. But you get to a certain point where, like, I remember the last one, Michael Uppendahl, director, came in and was like, okay, this is gonna be the last one. So do whatever you want. Fuck it up. Like try whatever you want. You can do anything. I'm we've got it. So you guys just go and do whatever. And then yeah, we kind of like we let go even more than we already had. And um that was so freeing, and we were so tired, but that was the one that I ended up using.
You got a Golden Globe nomination. What was that like to go to? Was it the first time you went to the Golden
Yeah.
Globe? So what
hmm
was that experience like? And just getting this award recognition because now there's all this Emmy buzz that's happening.
I was so honored and grateful to be recognized in that way. It was so special, and I also felt really just happy that I got another opportunity on that carpet to advocate for the brothers and talk about them, and just keep my voice really loud. So that was amazing, and I also loved getting to be on that carpet with my partner and have some like really good visibility. That was really special for me, and beautiful. I think if my 19-year-old 18 19-year-old self could sort of look into the future and see that, I would be like, oh wow, everything's gonna be okay. Like I'm gonna be okay. And so that was really special. And yeah, I met some of my heroes, and it was awesome. It was an amazing night.
This series really shined, you know, a spotlight on male victims of sexual abuse and in a way that really wasn't talked about at the time of Jose and Kitty's murder. What has it like been for you to be sort of wrapped up in this sensitive but important topic?
It's very important to me, and I'm very passionate about it. And I mean, really, all I can say is that in the next 5 months, I hope that they get to come home. I think that's what I love the most about acting, is when you find a story or a person that you care so deeply about, that you can empathize with so deeply, to the point where it's like going to be them is a form of advocacy. And I knew that that was going to be my through line throughout making the whole show. I always wanted people to empathize with Eric and understand why he did what he did, and understand why he is the way that he is. And yeah, it's very important, and I have cautious optimism, but I'm really, really hopeful that by summer's end they will be home.